I did manage to stay busy during the pandemic. I did a movie from my living room. Yeah, and it wasn't even on Pornhub. The movie already came out in theaters. It's called Space Jam. It's the movie with LeBron. Los Angeles, you are looking at the new voice of Speedy Gonzalez. Thank you. I found it ironic that they hired the slowest Mexican to play the fastest. You know? And 2 weeks after I get this part, I come to find out that they're trying to cancel Speedy Gonzalez. I'm sure some of you heard that they came after two cartoons. They came after Pepe Le Pew and Speedy. Now, Pepe, I understand. He's a little touchy. You know, but he disguises it with the Mosheri, Mosheri, But Speedy Gonzalez, what's his crime? He's Mexican and he's fast. That is not a crime. In Montebello, that's called job security. So I said, I cannot let them hurt Speedy. You know, I can't let them cancel him. So I came to his defense. Plus, it was my only job. I went to the only place I felt I could go to protect him. I went on Twitter. And Twitter, ooh, Twitter's a scary place. It is. You only go there to fight, to get into it, to prove a point. And so a friend of mine said, if you want to get some attention, use a hashtag. And so I did. And I wrote a tweet that said, hey, hashtag cancel culture. My name is Gabriel Iglesias, and I'm the new voice of Speedy Gonzalez. You cannot cancel or catch me. And I posted it. I had no idea that when you go on Twitter looking for problems, you will find them. Oh yeah, every major news outlet picked up my tweet and used it in a story about cancel culture. ABC, NBC, CBS, CNN. If I would have known that, I would have used spell check. Because my family called. Eres pendejo, qué chingados, ¿qué te pasa? Lo escribe bien. Oh my God. Even Fox News did a story with my tweet. Fox News. You know how I know? My bus driver Dave called me. Oh, he was thrilled. He was like, Fluffy, God damn it, I've never been prouder. You made it, baby. You're on Fox News. I said, Dave, shut up. You're stupid. He's like, America. Even Warner Brothers Pictures reached out to say thank you. And before I know it, I was on a Zoom call. And I know a lot of us had to get used to Zoom. And it's kind of convenient, right? All they see is this. So to entertain myself, every time I took a Zoom call, I was full Winnie the Pooh. And if you're not laughing right now, you better ask someone who is, because there is no coming back from full Winnie the Pooh. I was leaving baby powder all over the house. It looked like an episode of Narcos. So I get on this Zoom call with the director, writer, and producer of Space Jam. And they're being super nice, super supportive, super cool. They're like, Gabriel, thank you so much for lending your voice talents to our film. We really, really appreciate you being part of this. If you have any questions or concerns, let us know. So, well, thank you. We have a question for you. I said, okay. How do you feel about the voice of Speedy Gonzalez? I said, well, what do you mean? Well, you know, some people find him to be a little stereotypical. What are your thoughts? I said, well, you have not met my family. I cannot speak for all brown people, but I can tell you that me personally, in my house growing up, Speedy Gonzalez was not viewed in a negative way. As a matter of fact, he was the only form of representation we had growing up. It was him and the little bumblebee on The Simpsons. Gabriel, we were thinking that perhaps you would like to lend your real speaking voice to the character, maybe modernize him a little, you know, bring him up to speed. I said, well, you know, with all due respect, I appreciate the fact that you would give me the power to change the sound of such an iconic character. But at the end of the day, when people see the movie, I don't want them to think of me. I want them to think of Speedy Gonzalez. So I said, please keep his voice original. And then he asked the question, well, do you think you can do the voice? How did I get the part? Now remember, I never auditioned for Speedy Gonzalez. They just called me, and I assumed that they knew that I did voices for a living and that I could pull this off. So I says, what made you choose me if you didn't know whether or not I could do the... Oh. You needed a big brown shield in case shit happened, huh? And then all three people on the phone call were like... I said, well, don't worry, because with me, you get a twofer. You get an actual Mexican, and you get someone that can nail the voice. So, oh yeah. That's right. So before I know it, this sound person, the guy who does recordings over at Warner Brothers, gets on the call. The only thing I know about this guy is that he's loud. Okay, he gets on the call, he's like, Gabriel Iglesias, how are you? Wow. How's it going? My name is Steven. I'm the sound coordinator here at Warner Brothers Pictures. So listen, buddy, here's what's going to happen. Basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit record. And as soon as I hit record, I just need for you to start talking like Speedy Gonzalez. We're going to get the flow, the tempo, the timing. And as soon as we got it dialed in, we're going to make a movie. Sound good? Sounds good. All right, this is Gabriel Iglesias for Space Jam, A New Legacy. Speedy Gonzalez, take one. Gabriel, mic check, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Sounds good. All right, here we go. And go. All right, here we go.
Hola amigos, I am Speedy González de Pases Mouse en México. ¡Arriba! ¡Epa, pándale!
The director, writer, and producer, all three were like, that was perfect. I said, I know, I've been Mexican a long time. Do you think your mom would like to meet Vicente Fernandez right now? I said, Emily, let me tell you something. If she says no, I want to meet him. I'll be right back. Ama,
Dime, mijo.
Emily wants to know if you would like to meet Vicente Fernandez right now.
Mijo, that sounds nice.
All right, Emily, she's in. Emily goes, is she even a fan? I go, trust me, that's her reaction. She's good. She has the whole house covered with Vicente Fernandez records and cassettes. Okay, we're good. So Emily comes back and she puts these special VIP bracelets on us with a little click, and she walks us through a door into the backstage area. As soon as we went through the door, I knew exactly where we were. I was just there a week ago. So I got my mom arm in arm, and we're walking down the hallway, okay? Come on, Ma, let's go. Let's go. We're walking down the hallway, and we're getting closer and closer to Vicente Fernandez's dressing room. The door is wide open, and I can hear a commotion coming out of the dressing room. And then a man and a woman exit the room, and the man is holding onto the woman's shoulders, and he's like, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. And the woman looks destroyed, okay? Mascara's running down her face. My mom sees that, and she's like,
Mijo, did you see that? Did you see what the mascara? What the mascara parece puta la cabrona.
Sorry, puta means friendly. So we get by the door, and the closer we get, we start to see a guy in the room. He comes to the door. In the room, there's three people, okay? There's Vicente Fernandez, the photographer, and a handler. The handler comes to the door, and you can tell by his voice that he works for like a Mexican radio station because he's got that voice. You know, like, hola, hola, pásale, pásale. Pásale in Spanish means come on in. So we start to walk into the room. And let me tell you guys something. If you grew up listening to Vicente Fernandez from a young age and you get the opportunity to meet him, it is seriously a religious experience. My mom and I are entering the room. The only thing missing is the freaking Nomines Patres el nombre de San. You don't look at him, you look at the floor. Out of respect, you just look at the floor. Come on, Ma. We get all the way up to him and I see boots. And when I see the boots, my mom and I both just... He knows what you're doing. He knows you're checking him out. So what he does is he poses, okay? Vicente stands there and he poses. He'll have the sombrero, the hat, to his side. And then he doesn't look at you. He looks away. And he sticks his chest out. And he stands there looking like a big-ass bottle of Tapatio at Costco. And then he looked at me. And he recognized me, not as a comedian, but because I was there the week before and my photo was hanging outside his door. It's whoever's there last, you know, they always rotate the photo. So he sees me and he's like,
Hijo, tú eres el muchacho que está en la foto, que está ahí afuera.
I go, yeah, that's me outside, yeah. Hola. Vicente, I'm sorry. Le presento mi mamá. I'm like, oh my God, I think I just offered up my mom to Vicente Fernandez. She's like 73, better late than never, Ma, get him. My mom starts walking up to Vicente. He was so nice. He goes out to shake my mom's hand, and my mom grabs his hand. And I don't know where she got this strength and energy from, but she grabbed him and pulled him in hard, like the video game. Get over here. And then hooked him. She hooked him and she starts screaming into his chest, Mi chente, mi chente, mi chente. I'm like, oh my God, she's getting horny. And he knew too. Because he was like, you know, quítamela, quítamela. The photographer, the handler, and me, the three of us, is what it took to pull her off of Vicente. We sit her down, she's bawling. Ah! Mascara's running down her face. The photographer shaking his head. I guess Vicente had dinner earlier that night. He was eating barbecue because I had those wet naps, you know, barbecue wet naps. And so we take the wet naps and we start cleaning the mascara off my mom's face. And we stand her up and we posed her and we took the picture. Emily comes over and she takes us and she escorts us to our seats in the front. And for 3 hours, my mom was on her feet listening to his. She refused to sit down. Mom, you should sit. No, como que es el chente. Holding a shot of tequila that she never drank. She was 3 hours on her feet, never once sat down. That's how powerful his music was. My mom felt no pain for that entire time. And the minute that freaking concert was over, you know, tan, 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 tan. My feet! Oh my God, mijo, mis pies! Ay, pinche callo! Oh my God, my feet! Ay! And I'm like, oh great. So now I gotta drag this living novela to the parking lot. I helped her into the car. My feet! I told you to sit down. You don't sit for Chente. Here comes Emily. Did you guys have a good time? I go, Emily, we had the greatest time. Thank you so much. I got something for you. I go, what's up? And she hands me an envelope and I open it. And inside the envelope is the picture. She printed it out for me. And when I looked at it, I got so choked up because I have never seen my mom so happy in a picture. And it's not that she wouldn't smile. She would smile, but it was that, 1, 2, 3, cheese. But this one was like... And what makes it extra special is that is the last photo I have of my mom, and she was the happiest. And I know that that moment wouldn't be possible if I did not do this for a living. So thank you for that. Sorry, I know a lot of people were like,
We came to laugh. We're getting all pinche gordo. Me está chillando. Oh my God.
3 years ago, I bought a Beetle, not even thinking. That's not the joke, shut up. See, I can't even tell you guys this story already. I wasn't thinking, I bought the car because it was affordable, economical, brand new freaking Beetle for like 17 grand. I was like, first new car. I go to show it off at my friend Martin's house. I thought it was nice, I pull up, Martin! He lives in the hood. I don't get out the car. Across the street, there are these gang members. The kind of gang members, they don't really get into, like shooting people and stuff like that. They just hang out on the porch and talk a lot of smack. And so I'm there in a Beetle, and across the street, I hear this, right? I'm like, Martin! And over here, I hear, Órale! Hey, what's up, guys? How's it going? How'd you get in there, is it? Hurry up, Martin! 2 months later, I go back to pick him up. Now I've had some time to work on the car, right? I put some rims on it, some stickers. I put a chip in the motor so it goes faster. I thought it was bad, right? I pull up. Martin! Órale! I'm not turning around. Hey! Hey! I don't see you. Hey! Oh! What? Check it out, hey! It's the Fat and the Furious! I didn't even wait, man. Got rid of that car, man. I traded it in and got myself a big old SUV. Oh, it was nice for a while. This car freaking sucked on mileage, so man, I got 11 miles to the gallon. Oh, you cannot be badass in a car that kills gas like I kill tacos. You can't. You can't be at the stoplight trying to intimidate other cars. What? Whoa. $20 right there. Hell no, man. But it was kind of cool. It had a GPS navigational system in it, an OnStar, which was really cool. Oh, and by the way, thank you to whoever brought the chocolate cakes in the back. I got them right before the show. Thank you very much. Very cool. Somebody brought Chico's tacos too. I thought that was great. Now, you guys here know what I'm talking about, but everybody that's watching at home, they're like, Chico's tacos? Oh, what the hell's that? It's an El Paso tradition. If you come to El Paso, just know that that's right here. That's the tradition in El Paso. I ran into people in other places like Chicago and New York. I'm like, where are you from? El Paso. And I say, Chico's Tacos. And they're like, oh. Like, wow, yeah, that's hardcore. It is the craziest food I've ever tried, you guys. Craziest ever. Reason is, they give you these little taquitos and there's like a sauce and you pour it and like the taquitos float and then it absorbs. And I never thought I'd see the day where I could drink a taco. Yeah. And you gotta have that at the end of the night. Don't try to freaking plan out events after going, They'll say, oh, we're going to eat at Chico's and then go to the movies. No, don't do that. Don't do that. You'll be sitting there like, hey, this is a good movie, huh? This is the one where Nicolas Cage comes out and... Anyway, he plays the bad guy in this movie and it turns out really good. Then all of a sudden... You're running by people. They're like, Chicos. El Paso tradition. You know what's funny? Is that a year from now, there'll be people watching this all over the world. Just like the first DVDs in Canada, Australia, and Europe. This DVD will wind up somewhere in Australia, and there'll be people in Australia going, what the hell's Chico's? Crocky, we gotta go. We gotta see Chico's. You watch, man. People freaking out. I say, we must go try Chico's. It sounds splendid. Yes, it does. Drink a taco. I never thought I'd see the day. I'm going to try it. El Paso it is. I came here, I got a chance to meet some people, and they says, you know what, Gabriel, have you ever been here? Have you ever been to Chicago? Like, no, it's my first time. They said, well, we'd like to take you out to eat if you're down. And I'm like, well, hello. I am very down. They took me to a restaurant called Portillo's. You heard of it? So we get there, and it was very, very good. The hot dogs were delicious. I had a chicken chop salad. It was amazing. Had a beef dip, really, really good. But it wasn't until the meal was almost over that these new friends of mine said, we'd like for you to try something you might not have ever had before. And I'm like, that's not likely. I said, well, what is it you want me to try? And they said, well, they sell a thing here at Portillo's called a chocolate cake shake. I said, you had me at chocolate. They said, well, you got to go up to the special window and you got to order it from the lady. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I get up and I walk over to the lady and she's like, can I help you? I say, yes, my friends are telling me that I need to try this thing called a chocolate cake shake. Okay, what size would you like? How good is it? You want a large. All right, can I please have a large chocolate cake shake? No problem. There I pay. And she turns around. She turns around and she walks over to this little refrigerator that's on the counter. And she opens it up and she pulls out a piece of chocolate cake. And I'm thinking to myself, she must misunderstood what I said. I didn't ask for a piece of chocolate cake. I asked for a chocolate cake shake. She must have heard what I was thinking because she's walking by and she's like, it's gonna happen. She walks over to the blender, she takes the freaking lid off, and she just looks at me and does this. And I was like, no. And she's like, oh yeah. She pours it and she hands me this like 44-ounce chocolate shake, which is way more than anybody should be drinking. The straw was so thick you could almost fit your thumb in it, okay? So I grab the shake and I begin to attempt to drink it. So I'm just, and I can see the shake coming out. And it hit, and then all of a sudden, woo! So then, she walks me into the doctor's office. I sit down, doctor walks in, and we spoke for an hour. In a nutshell, what he says is that he wants to take my stomach, which in his opinion is the size of an NFL football, and he wants to cut it and make it the size of a hard-boiled egg. Therefore, you only eat this much and you lose weight with time. Problem with gastric bypass is that if you don't stick to their program religiously, not only will you not lose weight, you will gain weight, and you'll have a series of complications. And then he asked, do you travel a lot? I'm like, I'm on the road 46 weeks out of the year. He goes, this is not going to work for you. I'm like, I agree. I like 2 eggs.
I said, well, what should I do? He goes, I don't know, but this isn't gonna work. So I left the office. I was bummed out, you guys. I get in my car. I was so depressed because I'm like, someone told me I got 2 years to live. Surgery is my last hope. And so I started crying. I was sad. I was in the car. I'm crying. I'm like, what the hell am I gonna do? And the only thing that could cheer me up was a drive-thru. And I know that sounds crazy. Some of you are like, isn't that what got you in that position to begin with? Yes, but it's the only thing that made sense. There's a reason why it's called comfort food. Think about that. Anytime you see someone eating a burger, they never look sad. They always look happy. You might look sad walking in, you might look sad walking out, but when the actual event of eating a burger is happening, life couldn't be better. That's right. My girl told me that I make sounds when I eat burgers. I didn't know. Apparently I do. I'm eating a burger and I'm like, She was like, are you eating that or are you eating that? Think about it. Who's sad when they're eating fast food? I'll tell you who's sad. The person eating a salad watching someone eat fast food. That's who's sad. So I pull up to this fast food restaurant with a big M on it. And the guy in the speaker's like, may I help you? And I'm crying. I'm like, you have no idea. What I eventually wound up doing, you guys, is I started low carbing. Now, I am not eating healthy by no means, okay? I still eat fast food every single day. And people question it. How do you eat fast food and lose 100 pounds? I'll give you an example. I'll go to a burger place and I'll order a double cheeseburger. I won't eat the bread. I won't eat the onions, the tomato, the ketchup. I'll eat the meat, the cheese, the mayo, the mustard, and I'll order up to 3 with like 3 diet sodas. And people go, that's unhealthy. The cholesterol's gonna kill you. I agree. But guess what? Cholesterol's gonna take 10 years to kill me. Diabetes is gonna do it in 2. Right now, I'm winning by 8. Hell yeah, that's called fluffy math, bro. There's a lot of people mad in here right now. Fluffy found a loophole, yes. So I started low carbing, I started doing yoga, and I know that sounds like a joke right there. Yeah, some of you are like, he means yogurt. No, yoga. Freaking DDP helped me, and then I started lifting weights, and it's kind of hard for me, guys, because now I have people at my shows telling me, we're noticing there's a little difference. You're a little less fluffy. What's gonna happen if you keep losing weight? What are we gonna call you? What are we gonna call you? I lift weights. Call me Buffy. I don't care. The point is that I'm not trying to lose weight for vanity's sake. I'm very secure. The point is that I'm trying to lose weight so I can be around for my family, so I can be around for my friends, and so I can be around for you.
So during 2020, my dogs and I, the most normal thing we could do was just take a drive. Okay, drives, you could just get in the car. Nothing was open, but you could take a drive. And so we get in the car, and I put on a playlist and just drive. Eventually, we went out looking for food. And I know that sounds crazy to say it that way, but remember, 85% of the underlying conditions. I never once set foot in a market because I was afraid. All of my food came from friends and street vendors. Yeah. And yes, I support street vendors in case anyone's wondering. Because no matter what, they're working their asses off, again, trying to make a better life for themselves and for their families. After leaving a taco stand one night, I realized that a lot of people needed to step out of their comfort zones in order to find alternative ways of making ends meet. I made the mistake one night of assuming the guy working the stand was Mexican. He wasn't. I even spoke Spanish to him, which is a no-no. The rule is, when engaging a brown person, you must speak English to them first, and then if there's a language barrier, then you go to Plan B high school Spanish. You start off in English. Hello, sir, may I? ¿Qué? No entiendo. ¿Qué pasó? Oh, hold on, I got this. Hola. Yummy. So I walked up to this guy at the stand and I was like, he reminded me of a tío, so I was like, hey, ¿qué onda, compa? ¿Cómo estás? And which is like, hello, friend, how are you? And he responded, what are you saying to me? I'm sorry, sir, I thought you were Mexican. No, I am not a Mexican. I am not a Mexican. I am Greek. Greek? Shit, I was way off. I'm sorry, bro. It's late. I'm tired. Can I have 2 tacos? What do you mean, can I have 2 tacos? I just finished telling you I am not a Mexican. I am Greek. I do not sell taco. I sell gyro. Gyro? And then I remember seeing writing on the front of the cart, and I just thought it was like the guy's name or something, right? I was like, it spells it out. G-Y-R-O. So, gyro. He got all pissy. It is not a gyro, it is gyro. That shit says gyro. It is gyro. Bro, I'm tired, it's late. What is a gyro? It's like a taco. Give me 2.
Hell, you guys even have taco trucks. Now, for anyone wondering about taco trucks, let me just let you know right now. That is real good Mexican food. I don't want you being concerned, like, no, there's wheels under that restaurant. Well, sometimes we don't have a permit, okay? So, but it doesn't mean the food is not good. For me to know that I'm gonna have a good experience at a taco truck, I always research, I look to see who's running the truck. For me to know that I'm gonna have a good time, I wanna make sure that it's an all-female crew. Not to sound sexist, it's just that when it's all women running the truck, they make me feel good about myself. They make me feel special. When I walk up at 1 o'clock in the morning and I have a buzz, they make me feel good. Hello? They come to the window. Hola, mi gordito, ¿cómo estás? ¿Cómo está este gordito, chulito, este gordito? ¡Qué bonito! A ver, ojitos. I feel like a kid. I'm like, can I have a taco? Whatever you want me to get, I'll get it for you. Now see, when it's an all-Mexican male crew running the truck, it's late, they're tired, they're bitter. Customer service isn't our strongest point at 1 o'clock in the morning. And then you gotta deal with a drunk knucklehead like me. Hello? And they come to the window. ¿Qué chingados quieres, pinche gordo? What you want? I found out that Frankie is very sensitive about his mom. And he's at the age right now where affection really bothers him. Not necessarily from me, because if I try to hug him, he's cool with it, because I give those quick bro hugs, like, hey, what's up, However, if his mom is standing right next to me, and I reach over and I grab her hand, he sees that as gross, and he'll make the face. What? Ah. The hand? That's gross, Dad. I go, that's not gross, Frankie, that's not gross. Baby, open your mouth. That's his weak spot, and I go for it every single time. One day I was ironing one of my shirts that I was gonna put on, right? I'm ironing the shirt and I'm talking to him about his grades. As I'm talking to him about his grades, there's a car driving in front of the house, and the stereo was really loud, and you could feel the bass. So I started dancing. Oh yeah. Frankie starts laughing, right? And it felt good. I was making my son laugh. But then he starts pointing. Why are you pointing? Because you're fat. Your fat's going everywhere. Your fat's going everywhere. I go, really? My fat's going everywhere? Well, guess what? This fat makes your mom horny. And he's like, ah! If I ask him to do something and he doesn't do it, like for example, as parents, you want your kids to go to sleep by a certain time because you need them to wake up in time to get ready for school. Frankie's cutoff is 11 o'clock. It's pretty late, if you ask me, for a kid. Sometimes he'll push it to midnight. And he'll play dumb. Oh, I don't know what time it was. Yeah, whatever, you're only holding a clock. But I get it. I used to play dumb too. So then he'll walk in his room and he'll say, oh, good night, Dad. And he'll close the door. And he thinks he's slick. He takes a towel and he starts rolling up the towel. And he puts it under the door so that I can't see the light coming from the TV. Sounds pretty genius, right? But hello, cover the rest of the stupid door. He freaking turns on his big ass TV and it looks like immigration's breaking into his bedroom. And so what happens is he'll stay up until 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and he's supposed to wake up at 6. His alarm goes off and he sleeps through the alarm. And it's a real alarm. It's not a radio, it's freaking whole house awake. Him, and it's right here. So I gotta get out of bed and I go over to his room and I open the door and I kick the stupid towel out of the way, and then I walk over, and I yell, Frankie! Frankie! Nothing. So I shake him. Frankie, wake up! You know what happens when I shake my son in the morning? It makes him eat in his sleep. That's what happens. I shake him and he does this. Nom, 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 nom. So you know what I do? I get on top of the bed and I slowly lay on top of him. And I apply my full weight, bro, all of it. Slowly, and you could hear him. Oh God! Oh God! You're too big! You're too big! And then I whisper in his ear, that's what your mom... Well, you guys, since the last time we were here, I've had a few things change in my life. Some things happened that were so crazy that I couldn't even believe that it was a possibility. First thing that happened was I had my first ever celebrity death hoax, meaning that someone faked my death on the internet and it went viral. Someone wrote an amazing article that was read by over 30 million people that was so good, even I was like, oh my God, I was so nice. TMZ reported it for 30 minutes until they called my publicist and confirmed that I was still alive. The article said that I had died October 31st from complications of type 2 diabetes. And in my head, I'm thinking to myself, that's a hell of a day to kill a diabetic. You know what I mean? That's like killing Santa on Christmas Eve. 30 million people read this article. No one thought to call me. Except Martin. That's right. Martin was the only one that called me. And I think that was just to verify that he still had employment. I got that phone call. Hello? Martin was like, hey, you dead? No, man, I'm good. I figured you would have texted me. And I would have, because that's the kind of friend I am, you know? I even asked my son Frankie, I said, Frankie, did you hear I died? That's what they meant. I go, what do you mean that's what they meant? Well, my friends were asking if you were okay. I go, what'd you tell them? I hadn't seen you. And so, well, apparently I died. Welcome back. And that's another thing that's changed, you guys. My son Frankie is now 18 years old and 1 week away from graduation. You guys are clapping, but he's not leaving. I've already asked him, I said, Frankie, what do you want to do with your life? Have you thought about college? Just now. I'm like, Frankie, you do realize that all you need to do is get accepted. I tell a lot of jokes. I will pay for your entire college education, no matter where you want to go. As long as you get accepted. What do you think about that? I said, you know, if you want to go to school in California, we'll make it happen. You want to go to school out of state, we'll make it happen. I said, hell, I'll even do one of those international programs. You know, the ones where you give them one of your children and then they give you one of their children? What is it called when you kid swap? Thank you. Sorry. That's right. Exchange. Some of you are like, that's called human trafficking. Different program. I would love to do an exchange program with my son, but don't give me a regular kid. If I'm gonna do an exchange program, give me a kid from like a hardcore third world country so that he appreciates all the basic things most American children take for granted. That's why I say, give me little Tombutu. Give me Tombutu. I would love Tombutu, and Tombutu would love me.
Mr. Fluffy,
Yes, Tombutu.
I was wondering, what time do we go to sleep?
You go to sleep whenever you like. This is your room. We sleep next door. All of this is for Tombutu? Yes, all of this is for Tombutu.
In my village, 2 families sleep in an area this big.
Well, here in America, one big-ass Mexican kid sleeps right here. I look forward to problems. I like problems. Because if there's problems, Frankie and I can work on it together to find a solution, right? And I see that as a great form of bonding. Now, don't get me wrong, you guys. Sometimes it's expensive. Yeah, you're laughing. Let me tell you. Like one time they took his iPhone from school. And he comes home and he's all devastated, right? He's like, Dad, I gotta talk to you. I'm like, what? Tell me what? They stole my phone. I'm like, that's why you're talking. And I started laughing. He goes, it's not funny. I go, you have no idea how funny it is. I go, so what happened, Frankie? So they broke into my locker at school and they took my iPhone, they took my friend's iPhone, and if we go to the school right now, we can fill out a report. We know exactly who did it. Can we go to the school right now? I go, listen, Frankie, I'd love to, but I'm really, really tired. I just got off a flight, and I guess, you know, I'm really, really tired. I promise you tomorrow morning I'll take you early, I'll help you fill out the report, and we'll turn it in. Can we go right now? I go, Frankie, seriously, I'm just, please, tomorrow. I need my phone. I go, listen, Frankie, you can handle one day without your phone. He's not getting his way. So he turns around and he yells at the ground and he goes, they took my phone! I looked at him and said, hey, you took my freedom. You don't hear me screaming. I just accept it and process it and we move on. That's it. So then he asked, what's gonna happen? I go, well, I'm gonna go upstairs, take a shower, and probably go to bed. No, what's gonna happen if I don't get my phone back? I go, that's a good question, Frankie. I don't know. You're not gonna get me a new one? No, dude, I already got you a phone. It was your responsibility to take care of that phone. It's not fair. I go, life's not fair, Frankie, okay? But things happen. You should get me a phone. Dude, seriously? And then he looks at me and he says, and this kind of messed with me, he goes, you should get me a phone. It's nothing for you to get me a new phone. It's nothing for you to get me a new phone. Bay Area, my son thinks that what I do is easy. He thinks it's easy because all he sees when he attends 1 or 2 shows per year is that I walk out on stage, you guys start chanting, and then cool magically appears in his room. He doesn't realize that this is actually a job and there's sacrifice that comes along with it. So I told him, I said, listen, Frankie, how about this? How about you explain to me why I should get you a new phone? And if it makes sense, I'll do it right now. Go. I need one. I said, no, Frankie, you're a teenager. You don't need a phone. A cell phone for a teenager isn't a necessity. It's a luxury, okay? It's not a necessity. It's a luxury. He says, what if there's an emergency? I go, like what? Someone taking your phone? What did you do today when they took your phone? I went to the cafeteria and I talked to my friend Angel and he let me use his phone, and I called my mom and I go, and guess what? If that doesn't work, you can go to the office and let them know there's a family emergency. Please contact my mom or my dad. Next, what if you need to get a hold of me? I know what school you go to. What about when I'm walking home? I know the route that you take. And then he pulled this one out, one of the greatest lines ever. You know what? You talk a lot about me on TV. People know who I am now. What if someone tries to kidnap me? I said, you weigh 225. Good luck. They are not kidnapping your ass without an iPhone and a box of Oreos. That's the only way that's gonna happen. I said, Frankie, do you realize how lucky you are? You had a phone. I didn't have a phone in school. Your mom didn't have a phone in school. If we needed to make a phone call, we had to carry change, or we had to call collect. What's that? Oh my God. Trying to explain the concept of a collect call to my kid is like trying to explain rocket science. He'll never have to deal with it. He'll never know what it's like to be out late somewhere and have to use a phone. First of all, to find a payphone. If you see a payphone now, you look at it like, oh wow, they forgot to take it down. Get your camera, take a picture, because that's gone. Take a picture. He'll never know about staying out late at night and having to use one of those nasty phones and taking off that receiver. You know, the nasty one that has gum and gonorrhea all over it, right? And you got to keep it far away from your face so you don't get infected. And then you make that phone call. You know that freaking, when you make a collect call back in the day, it was expensive. He's not going to have to do that now. Back in the day, if you made a collect call, it was a mission. It was a mission and it was expensive. If you called my mom collect, it better have been life or death. Or that's what it was going to be. You call my mom back in the day, shoot, we were on welfare and Section 8. Every penny counted. You call her up.
This next thing I'm going to say is in no way, shape, or form political. So please don't take it that way. The vaccine. Look at some of you. Oh, here we go. Here we go. I knew it. I knew it was coming. I knew it. Look at him. He's got booster written all over him. Look at him. I'm not here to tell you what to do with your bodies. I'm just here to share a story. I got vaccinated, okay, and I'm not saying it to get approval. I'm just telling you because, you know, hey, look, I was 85% of the underlying conditions. At this point, I'm rolling the dice. Plus, I wanted to work. I got the vaccine, but it was one of those things where, you know, in the beginning, when you wanted to get the vaccine, you couldn't just walk into a CVS. You had to make an appointment, you know, and it was a drive out. You couldn't just show up. Because I tried. Oh, I tried using the face. I'm like, hey. Apparently this only works at Red Lobster. Oh yeah, I could show up at Red Lobster at 8 o'clock on a Saturday. It's on. You know, do you have reservations? It's fluffy, make biscuits. But for the vaccine, no, I made my appointment like everyone else. It was a drive-out location, you know. There's a little speaker box. May I help you?
This is very familiar.
Yeah, let me have a large vaccine. Pfizer, Moderna. I got a coupon, whatever's free. Pull up to the window. And then I pull up to the next window. And then a guy who's all covered up, he's got the whole, you know. Then you give them your arm, and then they harpoon you, and they make you park your car for 10 to 15 minutes in case you have an allergic reaction. So I'm sitting in the car, and I got the radio going and the AC going, and I glance over, and I notice that there's people there protesting. And that's fine. Protesting is a right, and I'm all for it, okay? My problem is when protesters leave the sidewalk and get right in your face. So here's what happened. I glance over, I see the protesters, and I locked eyes with one of them. And I could do this all day. I'm in the car, right? I'm like, what? The lady who I'm looking at all of a sudden starts walking towards me. And I'm like, ah, shit.
I'm not trying to preach to nobody. This is what you got to do with your life. Hell no, shoot. You like burgers? Kill it. Dale gas. I'm just saying that's what I'm going through. And then people think, oh, he's trying to lose weight because he's doing movies. He wants to look better. He wants to be accepted. He wants to be accepted. No. Don't get it twisted, you guys. Don't even think that. At my highest weight of 445 pounds, the level of acceptance I had was amazing, okay? To put it to you like this, at 445 pounds, there was women throwing themselves at me. At 445 pounds, there was men. Oh, in Bay Area, let me tell you something about gay men. I know you're in here. I saw the line. I'm gonna tell you something about gay men. Gay men are very creative, they're very persistent, and they're very opportunistic when they want to achieve the mission. They're just as calculated as straight men are. I'll give you an example. I'll tell you a story, right? So, one night, Martin and I are at a bar, and we're having drinks. And that should come as no surprise. Oh, really? They were drinking? Yeah, we killed it. So, as we're drinking, Martin is paying attention, and he's listening in to a conversation that's happening about 15 feet away between these two girls. They're going back and forth, and one of them was like, I don't believe we finished the whole bottle.
How the hell are we supposed to get home?
Martin stands up, looks at me, and says, bro, I'll be back. And then it began, the hunt. You know, freaking. Gay men are the exact same way. They listen, they focus, they pay attention. They wait for one of the cows to get away from the rest of the herd so they can corner it and strike. 4 hours later, Martin and I are at the bar, and I'm 16 shots of tequila in. Oh yeah, and I feel fantastic. And I tell Martin, bro, I don't remember the last time I had this many shots of tequila. And Martin goes, bro, you're crazy, Fluffy. You're crazy. Wait right here. I gotta pee. And so he leaves to the restroom, and I'm leaning against the bar. The bar is the only thing keeping me standing. And from across the room, this guy stands up, looks at his friends, and says, I'll be back. And then it began, the hunt. And he gets in my face and he tells me, I just have to say, I am such a huge fan of yours. Oh my God! Anytime someone says they're a huge fan of mine, it automatically makes me smile. Even more so if I've been drinking. Oh yeah, if I'm drinking, I'm like, thank you. Thank you. Bro, I was so loaded, I bowed. Thank you. The guy puts his hand on my shoulder and he says, I just have to say, you have gotten me through some difficult time. And he stops talking and he squeezes and he goes, oh my God. Do you work out? I was so drunk, I said, a little. You're the first person to notice. And he's like, oh, you could totally tell. And he squeezed again. And I said, I'm sorry, am I overstepping? No, bro, you don't understand. I'm stressed out. I feel pretty. The Saudis went.
Oh, my.
Martin and I just got back from India. Yeah. So let me tell you, I started posting on Facebook and Twitter that we were going to go out there to do these shows. And then people started sending me messages questioning what I was going to do. First of all, are they going to understand you in India? Will they understand English okay? Will they be able to follow along with your stories? Once we got there, I come to find out that more people speak English in India than in all of the US and Canada put together. Might as well throw Mexico in there for extra credit. Because there's that many people, and yes, they have the internet. They got the internet, they got Bollywood, they got Hollywood. They understand American culture so much more than we understand theirs. Second thing, people tried to warn me about going over there.
Gabriel, be careful. India is a third world country. Don't drink the water in India. It contains parasites that'll make you really sick. Don't eat the food from the street people, especially the street meat. It contains a parasite that'll make you really sick. And most importantly, there's a lot of crime over there. Don't stay out late. When the sun goes down, you go down.
I'm like, is it that bad? Parasites. So I'm like, let me get this straight. There's a lot of crime. Don't stay out late. Don't eat any of the food from the street vendors. And don't drink the water. Why does that sound familiar? That's Mexico. When Martin and I got over there, we found out that Indian people and Mexican people have so much in common, you guys. I'm telling you, it's insane how similar we are, especially the food. The food is so similar. For example, Mexicans love tortillas. Indian people love naan bread, which is a fluffier form of a tortilla. Mexicans love chicken. Indians love chicken. Mexicans love hot and spicy. Indians invented hot and spicy. Most popular drink in Mexico is Fanta. Most popular drink in India is Fanta. Indian people worship cows. Mexicans love barbecues. A lot of similarities. Most of the people that I met over there were very hardworking and humble. And I gotta tell you, every time I talked to someone, I was always greeted the same way. They'd look at me, they'd put their hands together, they'd do a little bow, and they say, Namaste, which is an endearing hello. It's really nice and sweet. And then I noticed that Indian people, when you're talking to them, do this thing with their head, where it will begin to move side to side as they're speaking. Now, at first when you notice it, you think, oh, he slept wrong. He just got a kink in his neck. Get a Tempur-Pedic! Now, when they start speaking, their head starts moving. And I noticed this. The guy is checking us into the hotel, and he's really cool. He's like, listen, if you have any problems at all, okay, you call the front desk, you press 0. We will send somebody to your room to help you. Whatever you need, we got it for you right here, okay? It's very good. Now, one thing I notice is the more they talk and the more excited Indian people get, the more the head starts to move around. Somebody at the hotel yelled out to the clerk, That's Fluffy. And the guy was like, oh my God, I don't believe it. I can do it. I thought it was you. I thought it was you. Oh my God, I cannot believe it. This is so crazy. Oh my God, Fluffy, Fluffy, Fluffy. Even crazier than that is that the mouth is actually connected to the neck. When the mouth stops moving, the head stops wherever the mouth left off. And when you see Indian people talking to each other, you can see it. Okay, let me tell you something. Okay, okay, hold on, wait, hold on, wait, okay. Like if you're Indian and you stutter, you are so screwed. Never. Somebody stop him! I'm not gonna lie, you guys. When I first saw this happen, I thought it was hysterical. I thought it was funny. But then I started thinking about it. Head movement is just a form of expression. No matter where you live in this world, people express themselves in their own unique way, whether through facial expressions, hand gestures, body movement, extra words. Everywhere you go, things are different. And that's just how they express themselves in India. Now, back to the whole Indians-Mexican thing. That is something else that we share in common with Indian people. Head movement. Now, some of you in the building tonight are like, stupid. We don't have head movement. Yes, we do. It's a little different. See, with Indian people, the head movement is side to side. Mexicans, our head movement is front to back. The difference between that is that with Mexicans, we have to be very, very upset in order for you to see the head movement. Otherwise, you can't tell. With Indians, it's all the time. Oh, today is such a nice day. It is such a beautiful day today. I'm so happy. It's very nice, very good. Oh my God, I can't believe it's so nice. It's such a pretty... Mexicans, when we're mad, that's when it comes out. For non-Latinos, hey, trust me, you cut off a Mexican in traffic, see what happens. ¡Sácate, pendejo! ¡Lárgate, cabrón! ¡Quítate, desgraciado! That's funny. I don't know why the black people are laughing. You guys take it all. Oh, no, you didn't. Oh, hell no. I know he ain't talking about me. I hit a bell. I hit a bell. I made myself dizzy doing it. So let me tell you guys, if you ever get the opportunity to travel to India, I encourage you to check it out. You are gonna see some beautiful things. You are gonna see some amazing things. You are gonna see some sad, depressing things and some real horrible things. Overall, it's a well-balanced trip. But when you get back home here to the United States, you will have a whole different appreciation for your life. Believe that. I guarantee this, you guys. There's a lot of people in India, and with a lot of people comes a lot of traffic. First things first, American traffic and Indian traffic, very different. Here, whatever happens on the freeway will stop the whole freeway. In India, there's 10 times the traffic, but it moves. See, the problem is Americans, we're fascinated by accidents. We're fascinated by the idea of seeing potential death. That's why we slow down on the freeways. We say we don't want to see it, but what happens in traffic? You know, what's going on over there? There doesn't even have to be a collision. You could be on the 101 freeway and a car has a tire blowout and it spins. Doesn't hit anything. It's now facing oncoming traffic. You know what happens to the rest of the freeway? Even on the other freeway where there's no accident. And again, what's going on? What's going on? I'm sorry. Hey, somebody might be dead. Sorry. In India, if there's an accident in the middle of the street, you know what they do? They drive right around it. They don't stop. And it's not that they're not sensitive to the situation. They are. It's just that there's so much chaos that happens on a regular basis. They just need to get to work. They do see what's happening. And believe me, they're heartfelt. You know, they'll drive around. I'm so sorry for you. Nothing stops the flow of traffic in India. They need to get from point A to point B. And so they go. If there's an accident, they drive around. If there's something blocking the street, they get on the sidewalk to go around. It's amazing the way they drive. And here's something else. No one uses turn signals over there. No one uses turn signals. They use a horn. Now, if you go to India tomorrow, from the time you get there to the time you leave, you're constantly going to hear a horn. It's an actual language when people are driving. I'll show you. You're driving? Car on your right. Car on your left. Light up ahead. They talk to each other while they're driving, and they barely miss each other every single time. Also, you'll be on the 101 freeway here, and there'll be 6 lanes. In India, you'll see 6 lanes, but guess what? You'll see 12 cars across. Yes, they have lines, but they're basically there to let you know more or less the direction you might want to go in. They're this close to each other. And even at the light, they communicate. You see everything. Cars, trucks, vans, motorcycles, pedestrians, cows, children, all waiting for the light. And they talk at the light with the horn. Very good, you can go, you can go. Welcome, you're welcome, go, go. Nothing stops the flow of traffic over there. Indian people drive. Think of ants. You know how ants travel in a straight line? And if there's something in their way like a rock, ants will split up, go around the rock and reunite, or climb over the rock. Worst case scenario, they dig a hole and go under the rock. That's the mentality of driving in India. A man can get shot in the middle of the street. People just look at each other. Somebody pick him up. And they'll drag his ass onto the sidewalk. And if there's an accident and they need to get around, guess what's gonna happen to that guy on the sidewalk? Nothing stops the flow of traffic in India except a cow. Now, I know we've always heard the stories and the jokes about, oh, Indian people don't eat hamburgers. I asked the question and I found out. It's believed that cows are people who have died and they've been reincarnated and their new life is now the cow, which is why they don't eat them and why they give them all the love and respect in the world over there. I saw this firsthand. There's a cow crossing the street while we're driving. And the cows know, they're cocky, they know that they can cross. Freaking, all the cows, and the cows out there all cocky. Gling, 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 gling. No one honks at the cows. No one yells at the cows. No one touches the cows. They wait for the cows to finish crossing. The cow that we had laid down. The driver just shut off the car. Started tweeting. There is a cow in the middle of the street. Hashtag Momo. I asked the driver, what's going on? Sir, there is a cow. I see that there's a cow. Are you gonna honk at it, go around? What's gonna happen? We cannot honk at the cow. We must wait for the cow to move. You're kidding. I am not kidding. We must wait for the cow. We drove past a dead body 15 minutes ago. That is probably him. Like seriously, the driving situation over there is so intense, you guys. One morning while we're there, I needed to get to the airport fast because I overslept. And so I get in the cab and I hand the driver a $50 bill. And I go, sir, I am running very late. I need to get to the airport as soon as possible. Whatever side street you have to take or back road, I'm all for it. Whatever you have to do, let's do it. And I hand him the money and he goes, very good, let's go. And we take off. The guy is hitting anywhere from 50 to 70 miles an hour on the street. We are making incredible time. I notice that we're heading in the direction of a red light. You ever been in a car with someone and you're paying attention to what's going on and you notice that you're about to hit a red light And you know how you start to mentally and physically prepare yourself for the deceleration of the car? And you start anticipating the pressure from the brake. And if you don't get the sensation of slowing down by a certain point, all alarms go off in your head and you sock the driver in the chest. Hey! Not only did I not get the sensation of slowing down, I got the opposite. He gunned it towards the light. And it caught me off guard. I couldn't even scream. I was like, and then I got air. Hey, pull over, pull over. He didn't even know what he did. He looks at me, he goes, what is wrong? What do you mean, what is wrong? Dude, didn't you see the red light? As calm as can be. Didn't you see there was no one there? You told me, whatever you have to do, okay? Whatever you have to do, you do. Out of all the countries I performed in, my favorite country outside of home is Australia. And I'll tell you why. Australia, much like us in America, has its list of priorities. You know what's not on their list? Political correctness. They do not care about your feelings. It's like a country full of Daves. Believe it or not, it's very refreshing to be around such a large group of people who speak their minds so freely. And if you know that before you go there, you're gonna have an amazing time. But if you don't know that and you show up, it is a culture shock and a half, because I showed up and I didn't know. Everybody says you got to see the beaches, and I went to the beach. I had people coming up to me. Hey, somebody help me get him back in the water. Yeah, right there, big fella. Look at you right there. Oh, look, he's moving. He's moving. He's moving. Oh, he's crying. He's crying. I bet it tastes like gravy. It's not bullying if everyone does it. Yeah, that being said, I'm in Australia, Sydney, Australia, at the Opera House. For me, it was one of the most iconic places I've ever got to perform in. It was bucket list, definitely. After the show, I wanted to go hang out with some Aussies and see what that was like. I'm hanging out at a pub. First things first, Australian people do not drink Foster's beer. That's an American thing. They don't drink that over there. I tried ordering one to fit in, didn't go over well. Bartender looked at me. Hey, you like the taste of piss, do ya? Okay, don't order that again. So I'm hanging out with these two Aussies and we're drinking a rum called Bundaberg. At first glance, it looks like a Coca-Cola bottle because there's a polar bear on the front. And then you drink it and you're like, that's not Coke. As we're talking, a third Australian joined the conversation. And he sounded a little bit different from the other two. He had more of a raspy voice. More like, all right, yeah, mate, yeah, all right. He sounded like a drunk pirate underwater. These two guys didn't like him, so they called him a name and they left. And now it's just me and drunk pirate. We're talking about life. Life in America, life in Australia, talking about our differences. He tells me that he's a professional knife maker. He's showing me how it's done. He's showing me pictures. We wind up polishing off 3 bottles of this rum. And drunk wasn't even the right word to describe our level. My tour manager, Ryan, he comes up to me and he says, Gabe, time to go. And I look at Ryan and I'm like, but Ryan, I just made a friend. And he makes knives. And they're pretty. My tour manager always knows how to talk to me no matter what condition I'm in. If I'm drunk, he knows better than to talk to me like I'm an adult. He talks to me like I'm 2. He looks at me and he says, hey, buddy. You hungry? Well, listen, if we don't leave right now. Getting back into the swing of things, we have definitely come a long way from 2020.
The fact that we're in a sold out stadium, elbow to elbow, ready to laugh, have fun. We've come a long way. You know? 2020, you guys, I gotta just thank my dogs. I gotta thank my dogs because my dogs kept me sane, they kept me happy, they kept me focused. Because I was so depressed, I was sad, I didn't know what to make of things. Do we have any dog owners? Yeah? See, dog owners, you know what's up. No other animal in the world will give you 100% like a dog. What, cat? No. I'm sorry. No disrespect to cats or cat owners. But cat owners, you know as well as I do. Your cats, because I know you got more than one. Your cats look at you like you live in their house. You walk in, you try to scold them for something. And then when you try to talk to them, they turn their back on you and show you their butthole. You're staring, you're like, oh my God, it's so dark. Only a dog will give you 100% of itself. That's why they get so sad when they know you're about to leave and why they get so happy when you come home. You are literally everything they've been looking forward to. And now you're back. I know for a fact, nothing on this planet loves me more than my dogs. I said this last night and someone said, what about your son? I said, nothing loves me more. I could leave my dressing room for 1 minute or 1 hour. When I come back, the reaction is the same. It is the greatest moment ever, every single time. Oh yeah. My dog Vinny will jump off the couch and run towards me top speed. And then when he gets to me, he jumps up and down. And he makes a sound like a... You can almost hear, where were you? Where were you? Where were you? And he pees everywhere. I used to get upset that he would do that, but then I thought about it. My dog loves me so much, he cannot control his own bodily functions. That's why when I would go home, I would immediately pick him up before anything. And then my girlfriend would get mad. How come you don't come to me first? I said, because the dog loves me more. How do you know I don't love you more? I said, I don't see a puddle. Mira, dry. Yeah, she didn't like that, sorry. But yeah, these dogs, man, let me tell you. And I apologize if I'm kind of stuttering or I'm not as focused right now. I have never been distracted by a blimp with my face on it. I'm sorry, Netflix, but shit, this... This is like a birthday and Christmas and the Super Bowl and the World Series and losing my virginity all at the same time. Even saw the lights of the Goodyear blimp.